In this video, we'll be talking about tips for filling out questionnaires, which are often associated with federal job applications. The first step is to figure out if there is a questionnaire. You might find it under how to apply or required documents. There's often a link to preview the questions ahead of time. I found the link to preview the questions by scrolling down under requirements. Towards the bottom, there is a section called How You Will Be Evaluated. Beneath all those hyperlinks, there is a link to preview the questions that will be answered when you submit your application. It's important to take a look at this questionnaire before you get too far into your application. The person reviewing your application will be looking that your resume backs up your answers on the questionnaire itself. So make sure that you have crystal clear language, that they're able to connect those dots and connect the documents together. Questionnaires are commonly set up in a very similar way. So the first section is eligibilities. This position is open to recent grads, but there are a couple of populations that get preference. Preference just means that there are some hiring initiatives around these populations, and so they get a few bonus points, if you will, if they are part of this population. So you'll answer about your eligibilities, and if you meet any of those preference categories, that can be very helpful for your application. If not, go ahead and still apply. Just answer the questions honestly. The next section is your preferences. This job has a couple of different options attached to it. Check out our other resources to learn more about what a 7 or a 9 means. Sometimes you will be applying for both levels. If that's the case, for a position like this, you would need to submit 2 different applications, one selecting the 7 and one selecting the 9. It can be a competitive advantage if you're not at the top of the stack at the 9 level. Sometimes applying at both levels, if you qualify, can help you move forward in the process. They'll also ask about things like, are you okay with temporary appointments? As we move to the bottom part of the questionnaire, this is where they're starting to ask about different qualifications and sometimes skills that you have. Make sure to read all of the answers thoroughly, and with that, be as inclusive as you can about all experiences. For example, question 1, you can apply just by qualifying with only a bachelor's degree. But if you meet the qualifications listed in B and A, that's going to be a stronger answer. It can result in a higher score. Yes, the questionnaires are scored, and a higher score is always helpful when they're reviewing applications. This questionnaire doesn't include any skills, but sometimes they'll ask you about things like communication skills or leadership skills, or maybe different experiences you've had if you're a graduate student and applying for something at a higher level. The important thing here is think broadly about your experience, but be honest. If you haven't done something, it's important to tell them that. Don't take credit for things you haven't done. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be attached to a job or a formal position. For example, if they're asking about your communication skills and there's an opportunity that you really utilize them in a volunteer capacity, give yourself credit for that in the score that you submit, and make sure that resume reflects it as well. If you have any questions as you're filling out your questionnaire, you can reach out to us and meet with a certified federal career advisor. We're happy to walk through some of the questions with you and help make sure that you're representing your experience as expansively as you can to help you get further in the process. Good luck with your applications.